Thank you guys for joining today's Monday Reset call. I was so grateful that when I asked one of my five top mentors of my entire life to possibly be on a Monday Reset call on Friday, she was like, "Yeah, what about Monday?" Um, I had previously shared with all of you guys that we would focus on top 1% habits. And honestly, the level of conversation that we're going to have with someone who has made an extreme impact in the entire real estate community and in the overall coaching and leadership space, and who consistently spends time with John Maxwell and many other global leaders consistently to continue to up her game, and who has studied the brain and wrote the book Becoming More and tons of other things. She's just someone who is a life changer, and she lives her life standing for transformation. So get ready for a level of conversation that is going to help you think differently and show up in your life and your business in a different way. And I just am super grateful for you to be here, Dianna. Thank you for saying yes to being a part of this with us.
Well, I'm absolutely excited to be with you all as well. And I'd like to know what some of you would like to get out of this, because I see that Dana is from Movement Mortgage. And I got to tell you, I love Movement Mortgage. Casey's a great guy. And of course, I've been at your facility right there with Casey and with John Maxwell. I was down there with him. This is about maybe 4 years ago. Anyway, he's still teasing me about the fact that when he started Movement Mortgage, Maps, which was where I was the CEO, and Cherie was the coach. And so for 7 years, it was so much fun getting to watch the growth and what y'all are doing in the community with the schools and how much you give back. It's amazing. You just touch my heart in so many ways. And of course, I got to meet Francine there, the gal that is your receptionist, Francie, and she's such a great lady. I got to know her well. Now, Jeff, what about you? It says here that Tiffany is with Keller Williams in Concord, North Carolina. So, Tiffany, it's great to see you as well. And of course, I still have regions that I'm an investor in, market centers that I'm an investor in, and I was just up in Atlanta speaking to the Keller Williams agents up there and having a good time. And so I just love the fact that you guys are going to be here. So what do you want to get out of it? This is a small group. So this is your time. And I don't have to keep you here for an hour, for heaven's sakes. And of course, we've got from Charlotte, North Carolina, more and more people we've got coming on. That's fun. It's always a good thing to see. There's 8 of us here, 9 of us now. So what do you want out of this? I want to make certain I've got something prepared yet. With so few of us, let's get this going. And Jeff with KW Connected, that's so good.
Everyone
Either
come off of you and share with Dianna, what were you hoping to get out of today when you showed up to a conversation about how one percenters think and what their actions are?
My name is Jordan. I'm a newer agent and I've just been really needing a little mindset refresh lately. So I'm just excited to hear some new tips and tricks to take into my business to start growing. So yeah, thanks.
That's so good. I love brand new agents. You've got so much excitement, and you've got more excitement and passion than the people that have been in for a long time, right? Not as much experience, right? So
Right.
it's kind of a two-edged sword. So one of the things that you have to remind people of is, look, other agents that have been in a long time, they've got plenty of clients. They have only so many hours, the same number of hours that you do and I do in a day. And let's face it, are they as excited today as they were when they first started? Probably not, because they've been doing it for a long time. So here's the greatest part. I am new to the industry, so I have passion and I have time. The other part that's so great is I have a multitude, hundreds of people behind me that any question you have, I can run to, and their experiences is backing me up. So I've got a team leader that helps me, that will always be there to help us. And you're with Keller Williams, is that correct?
That is
Okay.
correct.
So the difference between me and other real estate companies is, see, at Keller Williams, when I sell a home, we have profit share. Everybody benefits. So by hiring me with passion and time, you get all of us working together to get your home sold. And that is what you want, right? Everybody working together just for you. Because see, the other companies, they don't have profit share. In fact, most of them, they want to win the plaque of the month. So they don't want anybody else to sell as many homes as they do. So it's almost like they're working against each other in competition. So let's just go ahead and choose me today. So that will help you a lot. And sometimes just pay somebody to come on an appointment with you if you need to. Whatever it is, whatever it takes is what I found. I put my kids in a little red wagon because I couldn't afford a babysitter. Went door to door every day, Monday through Friday, Saturday. I did 3 open houses a week. And you know what? I sold 104 homes my first year. So if anybody is telling you you can't sell a lot of homes, tell them to go somewhere else.
Get lost.
Yeah, you don't need that. You don't need to be in that environment. You need to be in a supportive place, and you've got to set your own goals because it's up to you to take action. See, too many people want to sit back. And that phone that you have, this phone, this is, you've got how many people? Have you called them all yet? Told them you were in real estate, every single one of them, 3,000, whatever you got in your phone? Well, that's what we need to do right away. Because to sit back and just take classes and expect people to call in and find you, not going to happen. I just want to tell you, you'll be out of the business before you start. And I tend to be very, very honest with people. We've got to get out of our own way in today's world. And that means we've got to take massive action, hon. And so literally start today, do a voice text if you desire, text them, call them, whatever. And remember, they know that you're new. So always say, I have other people, experienced people with me, backing me up. That's going to make them feel a lot better. Okay. Hope that helps
Okay.
you. And I'll
It
cover
does.
some
Thank
other
you.
things today that will help. I'll hear from one other person and then we'll get started because we've got some folks on here expecting to get something out of it. And I want to make certain that I deliver. So who
We
else?
can't
We've
hear
got,
you, Dana. You're muted.
Can you hear me now?
yes. Oh, Dana,
Okay.
I'm so excited. Here, I've got to show you. This is my new thing.
Oh,
I need one of those.
Yes.
Isn't that great? Or this
I
one.
love that. I love that. I might have to check in with you and make sure that I know where you got that. I would like to hear from you. I come from consumer direct and where the business kind of came to me. So I'm rebuilding myself here as completely self-sourced after 10 years in the business. Just
Wow.
starting with movement this year, but have some very strong faith that it is going to work out for me as it always does. And I'm very focused on taking some of that massive action you're talking about. For me, my question for you is moving from a very, obviously we're in a male dominated, in the financial side of the business, it's typically male dominated. So there's maybe some overly assertive tendencies that I've picked up. So I'm working on softening my approach as I go from more transactional to relational business. So just curious what your thoughts are as a lady in the business, a very assertive person at the core and a sales-minded person, maybe softening that up a bit. Also, I'm just curious about like time protection. If you could maybe speak to, we talked about the 3 amigos, Sandra, like that third amigo that you need to just allow, the pebble that you need to allow to, roll on down the river. How do you delicately, what's your practice on trying to, maybe skip over some of the things that you find are draining on your time graciously with grace?
I think both of those questions are very, very good. Number one, you're talking to somebody that when I started in real estate, it was a man-dominated field. And I went to 12 offices before they would hire another woman. They all had one woman, and therefore they didn't need any others. Now, I know that has switched sometimes, yet that's where your aggressiveness has to come out, not aggressive towards them, aggressive towards getting the job done. I'm not going home tonight until this is completed. And having ways to handle any objections, at least 10 different ways. Because I found once I had 10 ways to handle objections, they never came up anymore. It was like I had that confidence about me. And you have confidence. It reeks through the Zoom call. I can feel it myself. So keep that confident energy, because that is a great energy. It's one of the 4 energies I speak about in my book, the 4 energies of success. And so the aggressiveness, it's not about softening as much as it's about building relationships. And so I find a lot of times when people soften, they soften with their voice, they soften with their movements, no, it comes across as fake. You got to be who you are. So I find relationships are more about what's happening in their life, asking more questions. What is it that they desire? And the old benefit and the features benefit type, that's old selling. I mean, that's causing psychological damage, for
We're not
heaven's
going to
sake.
fab them anymore, right? Let's just
Yeah,
let
no,
that,
I mean,
cast that
literally.
away.
It's about asking questions to find out truly how you can help them. It's also, though, about remembering. For example, a lot of the things that I did, even way back and still love to do today, is we got to make people feel important. Now, for example, I had Santa Claus go with me door to door to literally go to the homes and tell people, go to bed early, do all the things that the parents wish they could say, but having Santa Claus say it, and I was with him, so the kids loved me, right? I did a lot of things for their children. Other things I did was like one of my clients was featured in this little paper called the Arvada Press. Now, it wasn't a small town. It was just a small paper that went out to Arvada. And I found the article, went down to the newspaper and got the slick of what they actually printed off of, put it into a beautiful frame and took it to him. I mean, he literally wept. Nobody had ever done stuff like that for him. I think that solidifies you're doing things not to get the business. You're doing it because you love the people. And it comes across. Thank you cards are a big one. Have them ready. And after you meet with somebody, put in their name. You can even have it half written if you want to, and then add some more to the bottom, yet drop it in the mail that day. It means a lot to people. Do video conferencing with them where you send them an actual video that's been filmed versus just texting or calling them. Those are some things that will soften you and build relationships. So be thinking about that extra mile. What is the one thing I could do that nobody else is doing? And you're probably already doing that, yet just up it a little bit more, because we can always add 1% more to whatever we do. And with that, I want to go ahead and jump in today with what we've got. And I'm going to start out with something from my book. Now, I don't know if you've read my book, Becoming More. I truly believe that we're either becoming more or we're becoming less. You can't do both, right? Because the world is moving forward. And it's moving forward at such a pace that if we're standing still, we're actually going backwards. It's like being on a treadmill that's moving and it moves you back to the back, sometimes have you falling off. The other part, though, that's very interesting with the world moving so fast, we don't need to know what else happening in the world. And Dana, as you brought up time-wise, see, we've got to look at things in 2 ways. The way I look at them is necessities or signals, right? And noise. There's a lot of noise out there, and the noise really doesn't matter. Does what we're doing right now matter? Are we in the 20% that's going to give us 80% of our results? Do we keep track of our numbers? Because see, there's 5 things in any business. You need lead generation, lead follow-up. You got to have client fulfillment, right? And in real estate, we got to go on appointments. And so do you, Dana. So those 3 things are definitely signals, things you got to do every day, every day, every day. Got to practice our scripts and our objection handlers. That's a must. We got to practice and internalize them so we master them. And if somebody called you at 2 in the morning and gave you an objection, bam, you could come right back at them, right, with the objection handler. So those types of things are important. Now, I always say negotiating contracts is part of that. And people say, well, I don't have a contract to negotiate. Well, then role play it, because you're going to have one. And in today's world, you've got sellers that still haven't realized that price reductions are important. They haven't realized that they're going to have to give up to go up, right? And they're going to have to give up some things. And so as we look at this triangle that was up there just a moment ago, if we can do that, mine is showing Dana there. Okay, I want to tell you, every one of you have a current story of your life. And the story of your life, literally, I don't know, it makes up a book of your life, though. You get to determine what the story is. And too many people, they're not holding the pen and writing their own story. They're not the creator. Instead of a life by design, they have a life by default. And they keep living that story, doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. And that's what Einstein says is absolutely insanity, right? And we laugh about that and we believe that, yet we continue to do it each and every day. Now, from the current story of your life, how do we change that into a new story? We know that every story has a victim, they have a villain, they have a hero. Some of them have mentors and coaches, which I think every story, every life should have a mentor and a coach. And yet, even with those three, which one are you playing in your own life story? Are you even the main character, or are you an extra in someone else's story called their life? Because see, if you're a victim, you're going to live in a world that says, well, if I had what they had, I could do what they do, and then I could be like them. And if you're the villain, you're going to say, oh, no, 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 no. You just have to do more, work harder. And it's what you do. And then when you do what they do, you can have what they have, and then you'll be like them. And that's where a lot of people, they go out and do a class, taking it from a top producer, going, oh, I'm learning how to do it like them. No, no. You're not learning how to do it like them, because until you're being like them and thinking like them, you can do exactly what they do and it won't work for you. So it is who you're being that counts. And this is the being to becoming triangle. In order to be the hero of your own life, you have to live life that first I've got to be it, then I can do it, then I can have it, and eventually I'll be able to give it back. We have a lot of people out there giving back that have never really done it. And so I'm sitting here saying to you, who are you being? And more importantly, who do you desire to become? In my book, I talk about, write out a eulogy. Sounds creepy, I know. Yet it does tell you who you desire to become when your days on this life are over. You're actually going to understand that that's who I want to be, then I've got to act like that. I've got to become that person. And this triangle, which keeps going away, I'm so sorry. Let's bring it back up once again, Nicole, because see, I want to tell you how it works. From your story, it starts with your thoughts. From your thoughts that you have over and over and over again become your beliefs. Those two make up your values. Now, you can work with people that don't have the same beliefs, yet working with people that don't have the same values is tough. And thoughts, beliefs, and values make up your emotions. All of those make up your mindset. And research shows 95% of our success is mindset. I used to say 90%, and over the last 5 years, with all the information and everything coming at us, all the things that we can do, research now says up to 95% of our success is mindset. And of course, you can go up through all of this. All of those affect your perspective, the words you use, the character that you have, the goals that you set. Personal growth, nothing guarantees success like personal growth, because your business and your life grows to the extent that you do. So who are you learning from? Are you intentional about learning? And of course, you couple that with the 4 energies of success, and you have a new story, leaving a legacy that you desire. Now, each one of these blocks of this triangle are a chapter in the book telling you How do you elevate your thoughts? How do you make those your beliefs? And more importantly, how do you get rid of those limiting beliefs? Now, a coach, a mentor is going to help you even more with that, because sometimes we don't even know our limiting beliefs. Yet this book will help you and guide you. I want to start with some thoughts, though. I want you to think about how your thoughts are a prison that you live in. See, every one of us live in a cage called our life, and those thoughts are the bars of the cage, and inside that cage is your comfort zone. And most people, they don't want to get outside their comfort zone. And yet they don't see it as a prison because they have their car, their home, they love their life, and oh, it's so comfortable. And yet, what if I put you and a loved one in a hotel room? Put them up, and it was a beautiful suite. I mean, you had televisions, you had all the movies you wanted, you had every station you wanted. And Nicole, can we put me up instead of looking at what we're seeing here with the name, please? So, because I want to talk directly to you. This is very important. You're in this hotel room and you've got a beautiful bed, the television, you got all the food that you want. Everything is fabulous, only there's no windows and you can't get out. How long do you want to stay? A couple of days max? I mean, for heaven's sakes, that's probably 2 days. All of us would be going a little bit crazy. And yet, so we're comfortable, yet we want to get out. Why is it that we don't want to get outside our comfort zone? Oh my goodness, that's uncomfortable. We just expect to sail through life on this easy path. No, life has stress. That's one of the things I've learned over my years. Life, every day, we're going to have a little bit of fun and we're going to have a little bit of stress. And some days we're going to have a whole lot of stress. And life is like a roller coaster. You go up and you go down. By the way, most people, they're going uphill with their goals with downhill habits, like my mentor, John Maxwell, says. Uphill goals with downhill habits. Have you ever noticed on a roller coaster, going up takes longer? Clank, 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 and then you hit that down and it goes, and we go, whee! And I don't know about you, I throw my hands up because I love it so much and it's such a thrill. Yet in life, we don't want to go down. We just want to keep going up. And that's slow, and you're going to have some downward slopes. So let me ask you, would you buy a ticket to ride a flat roller coaster? I wouldn't. So why do we want our life to be comfortable? Why are we not getting outside our comfort zone? Because see, we don't want to. Our brain wants to keep us where we're at. Our brain does not want us to improve, and we've got to train it. We need to take control because, by the way, we've trained our brain to the way it thinks right now, and we can train it to a new way of thinking. That's the greatest part. Nerve cells that fire together, wire together, and nerve cells that no longer fire together, no longer wire together. So we have a choice. Who we listen to matters. Actions we take matter. You know, it's interesting, this thing called our comfort zone. I did some research, and it was about prisoners. Why is it that people that have been in prison for 20 years and they get out, they say within 6 months they're right back in prison? And I thought, is it because we don't prepare them? No, they do a good job of preparing them. The situation is such that, you know, in prison, they're fed breakfast at 6 a.m. At noon, they're fed lunch. At 6 p.m., they're fed dinner. And it's called the syndrome. And they become so comfortable in this regimented routine that they get in the outside world. And what does the future hold for us? We don't know. And because we don't know, our brain says, go to the past. We know what happened there. And so we cling to that past. We want to be in the past because we know what happened. We don't know about the future. Quite frankly, the future doesn't belong to everybody. It only belongs to the people that are willing to go out and take the future. step outside their comfort zone, and take everything that they can, pressing forward constantly. See, there were 3 people that loved the people in prison, and they wanted to help them as they were ready to get out. And so these are the very good people in prison, about ready to get outside into the real world. And they thought, well, you know what? We're going to get them going with great food. I mean, after all, how's the food in prison? Is it any good? Probably not. I've not been there. You haven't been there yet. It's not 5-star, for heaven's sakes. So we think about that, and he takes in lobster and steak and vegetables and fruits and oh my goodness, these good prisoners, they love it. They're so excited. And then the second guy goes, well, you gave him food. What else is pretty bad in prison? The beds. I mean, the beds are metal, and they have this little mattress on them. I'm going to buy them all beds. And he bought them box springs and mattresses and beautiful beds and great luxurious sheets and pillowcases and blankets. And oh man, they loved it. It was fabulous. And the third guy said, I'm not sure what to do. And then he decided, I know what I'll give him. I'll give him a key to get out early. And you know, most of the people wouldn't take the key because they were too comfortable. And they knew what would happen in their comfort zone, but they didn't know what would happen outside their comfort zone. And I'm here to tell you, that's why most realtors, 70% they're saying of the realtors haven't had a deal this entire year. And I'm going, why? Because they're too doggone comfortable and they don't want to get outside their comfort zone. And my book is a key. My book will get you outside that comfort zone because see, every morning, you get to decide comfortable or uncomfortable. What am I going to do? And where does your comfort zone end and your uncomfortable zone begin? I bet you a lot of people out there are not willing to find that out. They take an inch and, "Ooh, I'm uncomfortable. I got to get back to my comfort zone." Because they know that their brain loves comfort. It loves to go fast. It loves to be able to predict what will happen. And the minute you get outside your comfort zone, you're going to trip, you're going to fall, you're going to fail. And it's going to be the adaptive learning model. You learn something, you implement something, you fail at it, and you learn a new way. You'll never fail if you don't go into your uncomfortable zone. Yet failure is the only guarantee for success. When people say, Dianna, you took a coaching company that was losing $1 million a year and built it to a $500 million production coaching company. And I go, yeah, outside my comfort zone most of the time. And I failed a lot. But you got to fail to succeed, because otherwise you wouldn't even know what success was if you didn't know what failure was. So go out and fail more. And then the other part, you're going to have 2 choices. See, I could follow you for your morning routine and I could predict your success, because that morning routine, Dana, you asked about time, that morning routine has to be where you are into the systems, you are into the things that matter, you're into your 20%. And that noise better stay away in the morning, because see, literally, every morning you have 2 choices: to repeat yesterday or rewrite your future. And those are the 2 choices that you have. And are you rewiring your brain to a better future? Because the one morning decision, this one morning, will hold the power for you to change your mindset and become more. And how do you measure what you do in the morning? Are you being intentional about your ritual, your routine that you have in the morning? Are you following something? Are you keeping your eyes on your goal in the morning time? Because when you do that in the morning, the rest of the day can kind of fall apart and you're doing good, because see, you've already had victory in your morning time. Most people, they rise in reaction. They rise up, man, they go directly to emails and they get going and they get stuck. Why? Because the brain loves routine. And the brain loves to do the things it can do so fast. Well, unless you're an admin person, why would you check your emails first? Why would you not show gratitude? Why would you not pray or meditate or whatever it is you desire to do? And then after that, go and exercise and then get ready to go. Don't rise in reaction. You're going to have enough demands. Yet your morning starts the night before. Do you write down the 3 to 5 things the night before that you are to get done the next day and let your brain work on it all night long? Because it will work on it and figure out how you'll get it done. And what you do before the world sees you literally determines how the world will treat you. When you step out of bed, you step out with purpose. See, my feet never hit the ground until I've given at least 5 things I'm grateful for. Because you can't be in negativity and gratitude at the same time. And I want to start my day in a positive way with gratitude. Because when we do that, it allows us to thrive. We're not here to survive. Too many people react and they just survive. But do we have our clarity and focus on what it is that we desire? Do we step out of bed and step into purpose, or do we step into a puddle of... Most of us step into whatever the world wants to give us. We'll say, hey, here, world, you take this pen, you write my story. To heck with that, I'm going to write my story the night before, because we're here to conquer. And if you're not here to conquer, then decide today to conquer, because that's what matters. Your thoughts are the soil, and your focus is the water to what you have planted in that soil. You plant corn, corn's going to come up from the soil. You plant nightshade, which is a poison, nightshade's going to come up. What are you planting in your brain? Because see, what you're going to find is that you have 4 storytellers. And I'm just going to tell you about these very quickly. That first storyteller, and I'm going a little bit out of track here, Nicole, I know that, because we're going into attitude and mindset next. Yet, I think you need to know this for the way you get up in the morning, is the first storyteller is the devious storyteller. It's the one that literally tells you you're not good enough, you're not tall enough, you don't have what it takes, you can't succeed, you're new in the business, for heaven's sakes. Why would anybody, if you knock on their door, ever want to do business with you? If you're in an open house, why would they choose you? I mean, it's going to tell you stuff like that. And if you listen to it, you're in reaction mode. You will not conquer. You will not thrive. I don't even know if you'll survive. The second storyteller, this one is the flattering one. It's the one that says, I don't need to listen. I don't need to know about mindset. After all, I just need to do what I need to do. But if you don't have the right mindset, it doesn't matter what you do, because you won't do it right. You won't get the thing. I mean, I went on 162 listing appointments, took 160 of them. I know how much mindset matters. I know that with the right mindset, you'll have the right words. With the right mindset, you'll be able to do what you need to do. And so people get that all wrong. They think the 5% is going to give them success, and then they gripe and complain about not having success. But the flattering story tells them, oh my goodness, you are doing so good. You don't need that class. You don't need to listen to her. You don't need anything, because you got yourself all under control. We think we're better than we are. And if we're not learning every single day, if we're not attending the right classes, well, there you go. We're going to listen to that flattering storyteller. And by the way, the devious one will tell you you don't have the money. Go figure it out. There was a lady, her name was Nicole. She lives in Atlanta, Georgia. She was telling me how this is the first bold that I wrote, and it was saving people's business. I know what it did. Gary Keller said it saved the company. So did Mo Anderson, Mary Tennant, and Mark Willis say it. And she said, Dianna, I can't take bold. I don't have the money. I go, well, that isn't a problem. The problem is you don't have an idea to take care of it. And she goes, what do you mean? I said, well, go sell something. Get the $799. Go do whatever it takes. She went home, she sold a treadmill. She said, Dianna, I got $799 exactly. And I said, well, then there's your answer. She went to bowl. She told me that story at an event that she paid for her and her husband to attend. Both of their tickets were $16,500. That's $33,000 she paid for a 2-day event to be in that room. This was a gal that couldn't even afford $799 for an event. So when you decide today that your thoughts do matter, don't let that flattering storyteller take over. The third one is the one that scares the holy bejesus out of me, and that is the one that gives you excuses. It's the reasonable storyteller. It will give you reasons and results. And you can have reasons or results, and you can't have both. It'll give you reasons and excuses as to why you don't have the results. Said that a little bit backwards. And then the fourth one is the one I want you to have. And that's what the book will help you get, the empowering storyteller. Because that's the one that's going to say we need to grow. We need to have personal development. We need to work on ourselves. We do understand that our business grows to the extent that we do. And it will literally kick every one of those other storytellers in the butt and tell them to get out of your mind because it's in charge. See, we control our mind. We should not allow our mind to control us. Now, many of you say, well, I have the right attitude. Well, good for you, because attitude's important. And a lot of people get attitude and mindset mixed up. See, the attitude lives in our conscious mind, and our mindset lives in our unconscious mind. Attitude can be adjusted that fast. It's a conscious choice. It can also be faked. It can act like I'm real happy, and underneath, I'm depressed as all get out. And I can change in a moment whatever attitude I want, from positive to negative, from negative to positive. But our mindset lives in our subconscious mind. I like to call it the unconscious mind because we're unconscious of it. And if your mindset lives there and it shows up automatically, and it's what really runs the show, it's the one that makes every single decision. Don't you think it's important that we understand our mindset? See, there's 150 mindsets I found in neuroscience books. And I started looking at very, very successful people, multimillionaires, billionaires, Mother Teresa. It wasn't just about money. It was people that were successful, Martin Luther King, all of these folks. And I found that there were 7 mindsets. I brought it down and boiled it down to 7 that liberate us and 7 that limit us. And for the last 2 years, we have worked on a mindset assessment, not an assessment just to tell you who you are, an assessment that literally tells you what energizes you, what drains you, what words you use, and are they working for you? You can get an entire mindset map that tells you your limiting mindsets and how they've served you in the past, and how you can change them to liberating. You can find out your 3 top liberating mindsets and how to even increase those and use them to your advantage, as well as how are maybe you overusing them, like Dana said earlier. Maybe I'm a little too aggressive and I need to soften it. Maybe we're using one of those mindsets a little bit too much, Dana, and we don't have to adjust ourselves. We just need to understand where we're using it. The mindset assessment comes in 4 parts, and it will be released this Friday. So you guys are actually the first ones to know it's coming out on Friday. The first part is $29. I would just take the full assessment, because the full assessment actually gives you a 30, 60, 90-day plan as to what you can do to improve. The $29 one gives you the first 3 mindsets and your strengths. Then it goes on, you have 3 additional ones that you can add on. You can go and look at all of them on what you get on Friday. And you'll go to 14 mindset 14mindsets.com. 14mindsets.com. See, it's so new. I had to look down and make sure I was telling you where to go. And that sounds funny. I was on a Zoom call telling people where to go. No, maybe that doesn't mean the same thing as it did before, but I want you to rise in the morning with fire in your belly, fire in your eyes, and excitement about what the world offers you. And you can do that when you know your mindset. You can do that when you literally zero in and you see this pie chart of your top mindsets and your top limiting ones and what you can do about them. And then, of course, what we have here is getting outside that comfort zone. I'm thinking about common sense. I'm finding a lot of times when I'm out there looking and working with a lot of the realtors right now, and I work with a lot of the top ones, especially like Greg Harrelson. He's literally selling 4,000 homes this year. He sold 4,000 last year. He's upset because he says, I'm comfortable at 4,000. I got to do better. I go, if you do the same in today's market, that's better. And he's right on track to do it. So why? What makes people able, and you may not even be able to relate to that, and that's okay. Maybe your comfort zone is 5 a year. Maybe your comfort zone is 100. Whatever your comfort zone is, I want you to get outside that comfort zone. And it starts with having confidence in yourself. That energy, as I said earlier, that energy of confidence is so doggone important. And you can't be confident in yourself unless, one, you know who you are, you know how to use your strengths, and you're listening to somebody that can actually help you. Now, the other thing we've got to do, and this is for the people that are brand new, look at the real estate business long term. Excuse me, it's a long term business. And a lot of times we're here and we set a goal for here and we have a gap and we get caught in that gap trap. The reason we do is right here, we see the gap. And we're always, as we move up, we still have a gap and we still have a gap and we still have a gap. And we focus on the gap, not on the gain. How much have we gained? Are we keeping a victory log every single day? Just write down 1 or 2 sentences. What did you do well today that you're going to capitalize on in the future? And when we have a high belief in ourselves that those goals matter, and we got to have emotion with our goals. If you have a goal and you don't think that you can make it, or you hope you can make it, hope's a good word to give to other people. It's a terrible strategy and it doesn't work. You got to trust you can make it. The words you use matter. I was coaching a lady, great businesswoman, and she was saying, oh, Dianna, I can't believe this is happening. I can't believe that's happening. I'm letting this happen. I'm going, oh, yeah. I go, you know what? It's changed that this is happening to, I'm working through this. And then she started saying, I'm working through what's happening here, and described what was happening. It was so different. And then she, instead of saying, I'm so frustrated, I had her start saying, I'm so fascinated. Because see, frustration shuts down the creative side of your brain and fascination opens it back up. So I'm going, what words are you using? My book will help you with those words that are harming you. Like, I'm trying to do this. Really? No, you're either doing it or you're not. This little guy, I have him right here. I keep him on my desk because there is no try, right, Yoda? He was right. You're working on it. I'm working on getting this done. I'm working to think, or I am thinking. People go, I'm trying to think. Oh my gosh, really? You're trying to think? That means you can't think? No, you're thinking. I'm thinking about this. Yeah. Words we use matter. Common sense. Agents need to develop great common sense, which means they have to have a business maturity. Business maturity means you know your numbers, not volume. You know, Tony DeSallo always beat, he was up in Boulder. That's my husband, by the way. He always beat me in volume, always. His average price home back in the 80s was like 400 and some thousand. Mine was 135. I always sold more homes than he did. Who's the better realtor, the higher volume or the highest number of sales? Well, I would say the one with the highest number of sales would, one, be better, and two, have more relationships with more people. So I don't like volume. In fact, when people give me volume, I go, that means nothing to me. Tell me how many homes you're selling. And by the way, we were selling 350 homes with 4 people on our team. That's 2 admin and 2 buyer's agent and myself. So 4 people plus myself. And if we had new homes, which we had 17 to 20 townhomes, occasionally we would hire someone to sit those on weekend. So you don't need a whole lot of people to do a whole lot of deals. That's a mindset, an attitude problem that people have. And so how much time are you spending learning your skills? See, that's another thing I'm finding that's very uncommon. It's in the uncomfortable zone. And they have a role play partner and they talk about something instead of going, no, role play partner is let's go. Today's for sale by owners. You call first, then I'll call. They get 5 objections before it, and they always get an appointment. You always end a role play with an appointment. Yet, are you working on your confidence by role playing? Agents that have strong common sense know that it's profits that count. I mean, there's people out there, they go, oh, I'm making $2 million. And then you look at their P&L and you go, why? Why would you work that hard for that little bit that you're keeping? Now, Dana, I love that you're laughing because you get to see that. They buy houses, don't they? And you get to see those P&Ls. I mean, what are we bringing into reality to our world? And let's just look for just a minute. Ask ourselves, we want more production, yet what is our self-esteem like? Because see, if our financial thermostat, which everybody has one, it's like the thermostat on the wall, only it lives in our head, what is it set to? Because see, you can set a goal to sell 100 homes a year, but if you think you're only worth selling 50, and you're confident you can sell 100, confident is different than self-worth, because if you don't believe you deserve it, you'll never make it, because that financial thermostat in your head is not set at 100, it's set at 50, and it will stop you. Are you always looking for the easy path? Because a lot of realtors are. Oh, if it's not easy, I'm not going to do it. Well, then in today's world, I'm sorry, you're going to have to do a lot more than you ever did before. And we're going to have to do it a little bit different than we have before. What's stopping us? Maybe that flattering storyteller telling us we know how to do this. Yet I read on LinkedIn, there was a great blog that was written by a mortgage person, which I loved, that it was for realtors. And it was like, I work with sellers that want to buy a home and they're not selling their home because they won't get a price reduction. The bad part is most realtors aren't asking for one either. And he's true. Some of the sellers wanted to reduce the price and the realtor said, no, 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 I know we can get the price. I go, why would you say that? If it hasn't sold, it's priced incorrectly. Bottom line, if you have in today's world 5 or 6 showings and no offers, it's priced too high. If you go 2 weeks without a showing, it's priced too high. Pretty simple. And yet some people don't like that when I talk that way. A lot of agents, they're not willing to commit what it takes to be good. Oh, they're enthusiastic. They want to make money. They don't have the drive or the wherewithal to step outside their comfort zone. They're spending too much time thinking or talking about it instead of taking action, because action is what really matters. So I would say 1, get the book. 2, take the mindset assessment. And 3, if you're interested in great mentorship or coaching, well, Sandra is a coach. She can help you out with that. If you want to learn about how to sell better, I have a coaching blitz. I did it for coaches. And then an agent from San Antonio came to the class and she goes, "This isn't a coaching blitz, this is a communication blitz." She went from not being in the top 10 in her market center to being number 2. Now the market center does it by volume, and she was only 100,000 away from number 1 in less than 2 months after taking the class. She goes, "Dianna, I'm coming back in October." See, in April was our first one. So that's here in Austin, Texas. And of course, our inner circle that I do with John Maxwell, I said have a coach and a mentor. And that mentorship program starts October 15th and 16th. And it's right in Atlanta, Georgia, where John will be spending 3 hours with us doing Q&A, teaching us about leadership, about building relationships, all of those things that we desire to be successful. Dana, you want to build relationships? You should be in this. It's only for 50 people. That's it. So you'll get to know John very well. Every month he does a call, a Zoom call, and I do a Zoom call, or we have another thought leader. It has 3 events. All the events are paid for in the cost of the mentorship program. And those events, here's something we're doing. We're closing out our first year. This will be our second year of doing it in October. But guess what we're going to do? We're going to take a bobsled ride in the bobsled that the Olympians practice in. Now, that's only if you want to. We have other surprises that people can do, yet it always comes with a surprise experience because experiences stretch us, right? So that's what I've got for you today. Let's take we got 1 or 2 question time here before we end. And I trust, give me an aha, something that you got out of today.
Yes, that's what I want people to share, is to pop on and share all of their ahas and then ask any questions, because this was so powerful.
Thank you, Sandra. Oh, by the way, every Tuesday morning, tomorrow morning from 8:30 to 9 Central Time, I do a Q&A. It's free. If you're interested, just hit that QR code and sign up, and we'll send you, you do have to register for it, and we'll send you a link so you can be part of it and bring your questions as you have them. It's every Tuesday. If I'm not available, my husband, Tony DeCello, and by the way, both of us have been and still are. I couldn't believe we're still rated as 2 of the top 25 coaches in America. So you'll definitely get what you came for, as long as you ask the question. That's the big thing. Got to come prepared, right? All right. Who has a question? Just raise your hand. Or, oh, there we go, Jeff. Do you have a question? Oh, no, that's the brick in the back. Sorry. I thought there was a hand going up. No questions at all so far? No ahas? No nothing that you got out of it today? I mean, come on. Give this lady something
come
that
off
I feel
mute.
good about.
I liked the 4 storytellers, Diana. That it's really been something I've been really working through very, very closely in the past couple of months, really this year especially. And it really, really was an aha moment. I mean, I have a couple pages of them, but that really spoke to me. And, I'm excited about some of the resources that you talked about too, the mindset stuff. I'll definitely be peeking at that. And I'm excited to get more information about some of those events you talked about too. So thanks for sharing that.
Yeah. That's great. Thanks, Dana.
I had an aha as well. I really like the way the words that you use matter, and they will make up your mindset. I think I do use the word try a lot, and I need to just start. I'm working on it. So I really liked being more intentional about the words that you're using.
Oh, I love that. A word I had to overcome was I have to, and I get to, because then your brain takes it in and you react differently. So I'm glad that you caught that. Okay, a couple more and/or a question.
Hi, Diana. Thank you so
Hi, how
much.
are you?
Good. How are you?
Great to see you.
It's great to see you. I just wanted to say thank you so much, and I really like the idea of writing the 3 to 5 things that I need to accomplish the night before, and letting my brain marinate on that. I think that's great. I mean, I often think about what I have to do, but I don't necessarily write it down. So I think I'm going to start implementing that for sure.
Monique, I literally have a pen at home that it lights up on this hand that you write with, because I used to have to get up and turn on the light or go to another room. And once I was up, I couldn't get back to sleep. And in the middle of the night, I would wake up with an idea. I don't know if you guys do that, or I think about something I have to do the next day. And it's like the other night, it was, oh, I've got to get that paper. I've got to get that paper done. And so I kept going, paper, paper, P, paper for P, I can do. And then I had to get up and go to the bathroom. It was awful. So, so I thought I need to get that pen. So I got that pen out that lights up down here. Keep a notepad and that pen on a nightstand. This is one of the best things I'm going to tell you, because
Okay.
you'll wake up, you write it down, you click on the pen, the light goes out, and you go back to sleep. And it's not like you ever have to get out of bed so you don't wake up. Now, I don't know if any of you have that happen. I do a lot. So hopefully that'll help you tremendously.
you.
All right. Well, we got 1 minute if anybody else wants to go. Otherwise, I want to say thank you.
Diana, this is, sorry, go ahead.
Melissa, it's so good to see you.
To see you. And I'm driving, so I'm looking straight ahead. So apologies, but I didn't want to miss you. And I just loved what you said about know who you are, use your strengths, and listen to others who are there to help you. And I think when I first
I have an appointment with you at 1. Okay.
when I first started in the business,
Cassie, here, please mute yourself. Okay.
I got it.
Got
No
it.
worries.
Okay.
I was just saying when I first started in real estate, I really tried to implement what I thought I should be and what everyone else was doing instead of just honing in on my passions and my strengths. And I think, now being in the business, coming up on 6 years, I've really honed in on all of the things that I'm passionate about and using my strengths. And that's really what's propelled my business. So I think that those are just really great words of wisdom.
Thank you. And you know what? You're not a carbon copy. Every one of us are unique. And I find that a lot of the top agents want to just make mini me's, is what I call them. They want you to be like them. No.
Yes.
Fight for your uniqueness, fight for your strengths, because that's what's going to set you apart. And if you just want to be one of them, that's kind of icky, and you'll never do it because you'll never come across authentic or transparent. So if you have questions and we didn't get to them, be on tomorrow's call, the Zoom call. You can go back and go to that QR code and you can sign up today. Register right now so I can answer them tomorrow. I'll be there for you. Sandra, thank you. You're a great
Thank
friend,
you.
a great lady. I just wish you all the success, every one of you, and see you soon. Love you.
Thank you so
Bye-bye.
much, Diana. Love
You.
you. Bye.